Hi, my name is Thomas Upton, and this is Upton Speaks. In this podcast, I speak on a variety of topics: public media, film, commercial television, radio, politics, and more. I will occasionally feature special guests to cover some of these topics. Today's special guest is a person who is involved with the Beverly, Massachusetts, United States-based protest group, Hands Off Beverly, and we're thrilled to be joined with him right now. Matt Faletra. Matt, welcome to Upton Speaks.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome. Could you please tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I've lived in Beverly for the better part of 30 plus years with my wife and 3 daughters, and I have a disability from some car accidents that I had that weren't my fault, but nevertheless stopped me from being able to do a lot of physical work. And so I wanted to find something meaningful that I could spend my time and really make a difference.
You're involved with Hands Off Beverly. What can you tell us about that group?
Well, Hands Off Beverly is a group of like-minded folks that gets together twice a week and do peaceful protesting. We started about a year ago, and through the winter and the rain and everything, people continue to show up, and we average about 200 people a week in our main Saturday protest, and it's been very rewarding.
We know that No Kings is a national large protest. How do you think about it, and how do you participate in it?
Yeah, well, actually, one just recently passed. They do a group called Indivisible puts on the protests and encourages folks all around the country. In fact, now it's become global. It's all around the world. And we do participate. The last one was March 28th, and we had our most people ever, 2,200 people come. And it was incredible. It was peaceful. We had speakers, Jan Schlickman, Hannah Bowen, Joan Lovely, and our U.S. Senator Ed Markey. So it was a really great group of speakers, and yeah, it was really good. And we'll participate in every one that happens. I think the next one might be in June, but that's just a rumor.
Could you please tell us more about Indivisible, on who they are?
Yeah, Indivisible is basically an organized group that puts on or encourages and trains people to do protests. They have webinars to train people on how to have peaceful protests, what to do when people get out of hand, how to disengage people that maybe think the other way, other than we think, and things like that. But they put on the No Kings events, and they're a really terrific group.
What issues are most concerning to you?
Well, given my condition, healthcare is a big one for me. I think being the only developed country that doesn't provide healthcare to its citizens is disgraceful, and so I feel like everybody deserves healthcare. I think it should be a right, not a privilege, and that's a big one for me.
What are you hoping to achieve as a group at Hands Off Beverly?
Well, we're really hoping to get the word out as much as humanly possible. Our protesters hold signs with different sayings on them about different issues that they feel strongly about. And really what we're trying to do is get people to vote, get people to the polls. We have a very low voter turnout in this country, and that's a big problem. I think if everybody voted, things would be a lot better. in this country.
Thoughts on activism versus advocacy. What do you want to do and why?
Well, really both, but I see them as two separate things. I see advocacy as supporting other people or supporting yourself in a way that gets you what you need and what you deserve. Activism, I feel, is more like our protests, where we're actually having getting a large group of people together and getting the word out. I feel like that's more activism. So I'm a big fan of both, and I think they're both incredibly important, and as long as it's peaceful.
Now, all of those controversial issues that the U.S. president and his team had been causing for the past year, the shutdown of U.S. aid, the thing that John F. Kennedy established back in the 60s, the shutdown of the Voice of America shortwave radio service, the shutdown of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, those outrageous tariffs that I always would call the tariffs of doom, that annoying little bill that the president has called the big beautiful bill to take away health care, which I never considered. It's not beautiful. It's bad. So it's a big bad bill. Mm-hmm. And the attempts to destroy the LGBTQ plus, disabled, and autism communities. We must show respect for said three communities, especially those two things that happened, which I consider outrages for the autism community, trying to find vaccines that have anything to do with autism, and that false claim, that 100% false claim where they say that Tylenol could give you autism, yet you still see those ads that say, like, trust Tylenol, trust Tylenol, trust Tylenol. Yet, thank God that there are no bad response commercials for said advertisements. We don't want to see those.
Right.
I think all this has gone far enough. This nonsense. In my view, if we want to see this country get improved, then the current president, the current U.S. vice president, and all members of the cabinet of the current U.S. president would have to be removed from office. This is the one thing that I always wanted to advocate for ever since the president's second term began over a year ago. Mm-hmm. And for all the liberals, to all the liberals out there, many of us are not afraid to go against anything conservative that we despise. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it would one day happen. My view, but yeah, if those controversial people were to get removed from office, then all of us, it would be very appreciated. Yeah, we would like. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing all of those controversial things to be undone, like the relaunch of USAID, Voice of America, and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Though no more outrageous tariffs, no more tariffs of doom, and all those other things, so that we don't want to see our democracy getting destroyed and have the U.S. be a dictatorship. Yeah, we don't want the U.S. to declare martial law either. That's a bit dangerous.
Right.
So I always, I have become so traumatized and stressed out on what is happening. Yeah, I know sometimes we could get hit by reports like what's happening that many of us would be shocked to learn about, like the shutting down of the CPB, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which that organization, which funds both the Public Broadcasting Service, PBS, and National Public Radio, NPR, that is very important for us. Mm-hmm. And recently I've learned that the American Experience, one of PBS's programs, was discontinued over almost a year ago because of what the president is doing, trying to shut down the CPB and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. And and basically some PBS member stations, they are pretty much the only stations where emergency alerts in rural, small cities and towns are distributed. I think we still need those stations for those rural cities and towns. If not, then people are not going to know what something dangerous is about to come. Like, what if a weather alert were to come, and many other things. What do you think, Matt?
Well, I think you covered a lot there, and I think the first step is to dominate the midterm elections. We have to make it so that this president becomes a serious lame duck, and so it gets to a point where I don't think impeachment makes sense, because then we got to deal with that vice president as president, and I don't think anybody wants that. So I think it's a matter of crushing it in the midterms, making sure every winnable race is won, supporting every Democrat on the ballot, up and down the ticket, and then unfortunately ride it out for the next 2 years, and then get somebody in office that is going to treat the citizens like actual citizens, not and not garbage.
Yeah, and I really don't want to see all Republicans win the midterm election.
Right.
I really don't, because otherwise those controversial people would get more stronger, which we don't want to see. So let's hope that the Democrats win. So,
Yeah.
And I know there have been these reports that shock me, and as you know, only presidents can only have 2 terms since the mid 1940s. It's is that the 22nd Amendment?
I think you might be right. I think it is.
I think he wanted to change that. So I think he also claimed that there are ways that a president can have a 3rd term, which, again, that for me, I consider that dictatorship.
Yeah, I don't think there's any possibility, because you'd have to change the Constitution, and to change an amendment requires 2/3 of each house plus every state. 2/3 of every state has to be on board. I just don't see that ever becoming possible.
And yet,
thankfully.
And yet, that president, he's almost 80 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, could he be too old to do strong fight backs? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought age would be a big deal, but now it seems like the current president has significant cognitive issues, and I think that is swaying his judgment, and for the worse. It's not for the better, and yeah, I think riding out this 2nd term, just absolutely blue wave for the midterms, and then going from there, hopefully with a good, strong Democrat, liberal, somewhat progressive presidential candidate.
Yeah, and that guy has been impeached twice. I don't know if it will be a good idea to do it for the 3rd time.
Right.
Yep. And this other guy, that guy who had been a Tesla's CEO after Tesla was started, he was far too associated with the current president. That Tesla person, I think he tried to pretty much fire the whole U.S. government.
Really, and he was also responsible for getting rid of USAID, which has cost hundreds of thousands of lives by eliminating that program, and that is just an utter travesty.
But then, from out of nowhere, both the president and the Tesla guy, I think they started a feud like a year ago, right?
Yeah, they kind of turned on each other a little bit. I think the CEO of Tesla maybe realized that his best interests weren't in line with the president's best interests, which makes sense because he owns battery-operated cars, and that's something that the current president is quite against.
Yeah, and you know what I want to see? I think because of his far too association, I don't know if this is a good idea, but I think because of his far too association with the president, I think that a Tesla guy should be fired for that, with basically having no choice but to reach a game over point. Basically, those. So you're saying that the president only prefers gas cars, right?
Well, that's what it seems between, his drill baby drill comments. Even though we produce more oil than anyone else in the world, he's just ignorant. He's just completely ignorant, and he doesn't understand how it works. But he's only in favor of gas and coal.
What does the president mean by drill, baby, drill?
In his mind, we're not drilling enough, even though we're drilling more than anyone else. He's just ignorant, and he thinks that that's going to get him score points with the big oil companies, and that somehow he can profit from that.
I think he might have been trying to do some sort of more of a protest parody of "Burn, Baby, Burn," a lyric from the song Disco Inferno. For me, that's...
I wonder if he's clever enough to come up with that. I don't know if he is.
Yeah, and I know... And, speaking of music, I know many musicians whom basically the music that the president would use at his rallies, many of these musicians oppose that. I know originally... the president ended his rallies with "You Can't Always Get What You Want" by the Rolling Stones, something of which the Stones themselves despise. I think the president was trying to turn the song into an authoritarian anthem.
Yeah, and they sent a cease and desist letter forcing him to stop using that song. And like you said, there's been a number of artists that have sent letters basically saying you can't use our music, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I know that's why the president now ends his rallies with YMCA by Village People, which Victor Willis, the lead singer, he turned around his mind several times from liking it to not liking it, the use of the song, and then back again. Mm-hmm. They actually performed at the president's second inauguration. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there also might have been the popular Saturday Night Live skit in 2020 where they parody the president's usage of the song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And his dancing.
Yeah, for me, the president's signature dance, for me, I consider that as more of a ruined version of the YMCA dance, which the original YMCA dance itself was introduced on Dick Clark's American Bandstand.
Oh, yeah.
So God, the president using music whose original group the group despises the uses so much. In fact, I believe that for one of the president's first State of the Union addresses, he referred to the North Korean leader by the name of a song that Elton John used, Rocket Man.
Right.
I think Elton also didn't like that.
No, I don't think he did. He didn't use the song, but he called him the Little Rocket Man because at the time they were doing testing on rockets and they couldn't go very far.
Yeah, and I think he also said a long time ago. He should have been there a long time ago. Yet the song features a lyric, I think it's going to be a long, long time.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he alternated between just Rocket Man and Little Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts?
Well, I would encourage folks, if you live in the area, if you live anywhere on the North Shore, join a protest group. Come down and check it out. See if you like it. There are groups not just in Beverly, but Ipswich and Salem and Swampscott and all over. And they're all peaceful. But Beverly, we got the vibe because we have a DJ. So I think that makes it a little more fun.
As long as they are liberals, like if they're not a conservative and if they don't support that guy, basically if they are extremely liberal enough, which I am, then they could join the group.
Yeah. I would say we have very few naysayers that come by on our weekly protests on Saturdays, and it's so few that it doesn't even affect us.
Thanks for watching and or listening to Upton Speaks. This has been Thomas Upton speaking. This podcast was recorded at BevCam in Beverly, Massachusetts, United States. Find us on all your favorite podcast platforms and BevCam's YouTube and public access cable TV channels. Thanks to our guest, Matt Faletra. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.